kind of chunky. I got Splinter. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be making a wood sign for my sister to use at our wedding next week. She's planning to hang pictures on it as a surprise for her soon-to-be husband, and I'm thrilled I get to take part in it. As you may already know, I'm a huge fan of budget projects, so for this project I'm going to be using wood from used skid boards. It's a great way to find cheap or free wood. So many people are getting rid of them on Kijiji or Facebook Marketplace. Usually you just have to go pick them up and they'll give them to you for free. Depending on the state of the wood, it can be perfect for projects just like this. Because it's a skid board project, I'm not going to be a stickler on the size of the wood, just the depth, because I want it to lay as flat as possible. So let's jump to it. So I'm going to take a few of these that I've just prepped already. Some of them I'm going to need to pull some nails out of just to prep it, but they're generally around the same size. We're going for more of a rustic look, so if they're a little bit different, that's okay with me. It kind of depends what look you're going for, but for this we're going slightly rustic. So hopefully it should work. They're a bit bowed, but hopefully we'll be able to nail them in place so that they're not super bowed once it's a full sign. So we'll see how it works out. And also with that, skid boards are made with two different types of wood usually, and one of them is a bit thicker than the rest. So my idea, and we'll see if this works, is, I don't know if you can see, it's just kind of chunky. And I'm thinking that this will be the support for the board because I don't want it falling apart. And it also is one of the easiest ways to make it because you can just nail the boards right in. So yeah, that's the idea. I'm going to prep the boards now and I'm good to it. So I started by pulling out the rest of the nails in each board. I wanted to be careful with the board, so if I didn't have a good grip from the top of the nail, I hammered from the bottom until I had enough to pull out from the top. Next up was measuring out 3-foot lengths. Some of the boards had holes from the nails on the ends, so I decided to cut those off because it wasn't my preference to see them on the board. Because I already have an easel, I wanted to make the board 4 feet tall because that's what it would hold. I didn't grab enough boards though to make that height, so I'm going to go look in the wood pile for more options. So here we have all our wood, and I have to try to find pieces that are going to be a similar depth as the other boards. I've decided to go with varying widths to add a more rustic look to the board, so I don't need to worry much about that. This one could add some nice variety both in width and color, so I think I'm going to pull that aside. And we'll try out these. I placed all the boards beside each other and took my time measuring and adjusting until it came out to 4 by 3 feet. Next I marked my boards in 3-foot sections using a square to give myself a straight line to cut across. And now it's time to cut. Here I'm using a DeWalt battery-powered skill saw. I love how light it is, but it's still quite powerful. After a quick cleanup, it's time to lay out the boards and see how it's gonna look. I like a mix and match look, so I'm gonna play around with the look until I love it. Some of the supporting pieces were really rough, so I sanded them down with a DeWalt angle grinder, otherwise known as a death wheel. Don't worry, I wore my trusty sunglasses as protection and changed out the blade for a sanding head. There will be no stag dresses at this wedding. Here I started lining up the boards and nailing in the support from the back. I was clearly having some trouble not being able to hold the wood still while nailing. It resulted in minor injuries, but I pushed through. So I called in backup to help finish quicker. We were losing daylight and I wanted to get this done. It definitely would have been sturdier if it was nailed from the front of the board, but I wanted it to look cleaner, and this way you won't be able to see the nails from the front of the board. It ended up working nicely for now, but if it loosens or becomes unstable, we can always add some wood glue from the back. If you want to keep the edges rough, cutting each piece individually is the way to go. The edges will be very close but slightly off. I thought that's what I wanted, but after careful thought and consideration, I decided to recut the edges to have a smoother line. I used my recruit again, who's great with a skill saw, and I could trust to cut a straight line. I finished off with sanding the edges by hand because the angle grinder changed the look of the wood, and I liked the rustic vibe I was getting from the current state of it. And here's the finished product! I can't wait to see how my sister styles it in her wedding next week. And here it is! I'm so amazed at how my sister styled it for her wedding, and I was so happy with how it turned out. Thank you everyone for watching my video. If you want to see more, please comment below. You can like my videos and subscribe, and feel free to check out other videos below.